The Army also changing some regulations to let people enlist without a waiver if they have a single conviction for possession of marijuana or drug paraphernalia.
Okay, this is bad. This is bad. We've been at war a month and you're already down to stoners? This is like that Harold and Kumar movie, Mission Impossible 4, Ghost Protocol. We must be desperate because I've never seen a pothead take a puff and then be like, I want to somebody up. I wouldn't even trust a stoner with any mission unless that mission is, you need to locate the Ayatollah and tell him the greatest movie ever is Interstellar.
So we're going to have more jobs than we've ever had.
You will have more jobs.
We're going to create a lot of jobs.
We will take in so many jobs.
Millions and millions of new jobs. We're going to do it like nobody else.
Now, did we get millions of jobs? Well, if by jobs you mean the foot jobs your nana is given to pay the electricity bill, then yes. Look, job growth across the country has actually been down. But there's one specific block of Washington, D.C. where job growth is through the roof.
President Trump, of course, serves as the chairman of the Board of Peace.
Donald Trump naming himself chair of the LA Olympics Task Force.
Trump is also the chairman of the Kennedy Center.
For the first time ever, the president served as the on-stage host of the annual honors event.
Touted himself as the acting president of Venezuela.
Whoa, Trump, leave some work for Steve Harvey, all right? Trump is taking everybody's jobs. He's basically AI with even more up hands. Hey, don't look away. This man needs hands. But this is crazy. Trump promised us riches, then he got rich. He promised us jobs, but then he got all the jobs. Wait, what if when we heard all of Trump's promises, we thought he was talking to us, but maybe he was just talking to himself? But maybe what Europe did here is a lesson for the rest of us. Because Trump barged into Davos like, I want to own Greenland. And Europe just said no. And in just 6 hours, they worked him down from owning Greenland to concepts of a deal. So maybe saying no is something more of us in America might want to try. Instead of complying in advance, college presidents, law firms, media outlets, whoever keeps giving Trump that tacky gold shit to put on his walls, just tell that man no. Right? In the meantime, good on Denmark for standing its ground. You did it. Although if he changes his mind, you might want to bulk up your defenses with some of those binder clips just to be safe.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced an extension to bring back service members who refused the COVID-19 vaccine.
We're extending this to make sure anybody that wants to take advantage of it has additional time to take advantage of it. Maybe you were waiting to see whether we meant it or not. We do.
Oh, shit. That doesn't sound good. When the Secretary of Defense is telling you, I know you didn't want to take the COVID shot, but what about getting gunshot? So you gave people a deadline to re-enlist and they didn't take it, and now you're still extending the deadline to get them back. You are not the one with power. I've been through this entire thing before. My ex left me, and I told her she'd be back in a week. And sure enough, a year later, I got a wedding invitation. So just to recap, the military is now trying to recruit middle-aged people and anti-vaxxers who don't even want to come back. As long as they're not trying to bring in anybody else, maybe we're winning this war. But this is truly insane. There is not another convicted child sex trafficker in the world who would get this kind of treatment in prison. There's actually no way within the confines of prison that her life could get any better.
Add to that one more perk for the convicted sex offender: puppy time. According to the whistleblower, an inmate who trains puppies to become service dogs was instructed to provide one to Maxwell for a time so she could play with the puppy.
Do not give that dog to Ghislaine. That's not what they meant when they said take the dog to the groomer. That That's all she said, and now she's being treated like royalty.
A whistleblower alleges that Ghislaine Maxwell is getting special treatment in prison.
Maxwell's meals have been customized. They are delivered directly to her cell. She is personally escorted to the exercise area after hours and gets to enjoy recreation time in staff-only areas. When she wants private meetings, the warden personally arranges them, providing an assortment of snacks and refreshments for her guests.
I mean, she gets to hang out in the staff areas. Can you imagine being a prison guard who can't watch TV in the break room because Ghislaine taking a nap on the couch? Just so we're all clear, 86 means getting rid of something off a menu or kicking someone out of a place. It's been understood to mean those things since the 1930s. It's actually one of the last good slang terms that white people invented. Since then, it's been nothing but bazinga and amazeballs and a few new slurs. Mostly the slurs. So I'm not worried that James Comey is actually going to prison. But what's bumming me out is the fact that our president feels totally unencumbered to use the power of the Justice Department to go after people he doesn't like. You know? This whole thing is so depressing. I could use a pick-me-up.
As Oscar Wilde said, we have really everything in common with America nowadays, except, of course, language.
Oh, damn. Get him, Chuck. Get him. I honestly don't even know what that means. But the point is, CNN found all this new footage, and Trump didn't really appreciate it.
You actually called President Trump directly to ask him about this story?
Yeah, we weren't on the phone very long. It only lasted about 30 seconds. But when I got him on the phone, I asked him about the wedding photos. He kind of paused and then said, "You've got to be kidding me." He then called CNN and me fake news a few times, and then he hung up the phone.
Wait, hold on. You can just call Donald Trump and he'll just pick up the phone himself? A president shouldn't be that available, you know? This is like pushing the call button for the flight attendant and then the pilot comes out. Like, it's like, aren't you supposed to be busy? Like, if you're here, then who's in the cockpit? I think this just shows how lonely Trump is. He's answering the phone because he just wants someone to talk to. It's kind of sad. Because remember, his best friend died in prison back in 2019. But fine, Epstein mentioned Trump in an email. That doesn't mean he did anything wrong. Maybe the email was about how Trump never comes to his sex parties. Rude. I say this because I'm an American, living in America. And no matter what party you're in or who you voted for, it would be better for all of us, as a general matter, if we do not have a sexual predator as president. Because it would make our country look so bad. You know, how embarrassing would that be if we, America, went from being the shining city on a hill to not being allowed within 1,000 feet of the hill? Okay, but we have to do something. How do we push back if we can't get into Congress?
Money! Duh! Josh, you ever heard of it? It's called moolah. It's the most powerful branch of government. You want your voice heard? Just get super rich and you can buy whatever politician you want. You can even make them do stuff. You can probably get Ted Cruz to vote on your bill or punch his own dick.
Okay, I'm listening. But how do we get rich enough to buy the politicians?
Okay, look, one simple way is to insider trade, okay? And the easiest way to do that is to get elected to Congress. Oh, all right, well.
Ronnie Chang, everybody. I'm not necessarily afraid of AI in what I do as far as performance. I think it's already been very well said that, like, the things that people do for connection and for real experiences, AI can't replace. The other thing that happens with AI that I don't think obviously someone could lose their job to AI, which isn't really true. Someone gave your job to AI. Like, the AI didn't come in the room with legs. You know what I mean? Like, AI doesn't have legs to then walk in and be like, I think I'm better. Like, that's not... AI is not pitching itself against you. Someone who wants to save the money that they think that you are wants to replace you. So I think we put it all on the AI instead of putting it on employers and companies and, like, a corporate mindset and everything. But when it comes to stand-up, people want to show up and have an experience with other people. And I think that that's something that can't be replaced by AI, at least in that sphere, right? As far as writing goes, there are definitely going to be people who would opt to, whether it's for money or for ease, because they aren't great collaborators, work with an AI and try to be better prompt writers than better collaborators and writers. That's all, I guess, well and good. But you know what? Maybe my favorite Trump promise isn't even about a specific policy. It was deeper and more meaningful.
We're going to dream big again. We haven't been dreaming big at all.
No, we haven't. But now Donald Trump is dreaming enough for all of us.
We're showing a picture now of Donald Trump with his eyes closed, battling to keep his eyes open, struggling to stay awake.
Slumped in a chair in the Oval Office today, appearing to nod off.
He may have dozed off a few times.
Hey, don't laugh at him, all right? Leave that poor man alone. He got like 9 or 10 jobs. So bottom line, when it comes to Donald Trump, there's no you in us. And once you understand that, things will go a lot better for us. And by us, I mean Donald Trump. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, unfortunately, we're all in his hands. Look at it.
Over time, that savings is erased by a much larger interest bill, because while the total interest on a 30-year loan would be about $463,000, the interest on a 50-year loan would total more than $860,000.
Signed, Ronnie Chang. So you're saying that after interest, a $400,000 mortgage is going to cost me $1.3 million. That is the opposite of affordability. This man is creating generational debt. They're going to be fighting to get out of grandma's will. Like, grandkids will be like, I barely knew her, all right? I wouldn't even hug her at Christmas because her skin was too loose. Let's talk about award shows. They honor creative people, they celebrate great art, and they're how we track the migratory pattern of the Skarsgårds. But one recent award show raised a lot more questions than who are you wearing?
It was supposed to be an evening of Hollywood glamour mixed with British royalty. But the British Film Awards ceremony known as the BAFTAs is facing outrage after black actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo took the stage, only for the N-word to be shouted from the audience.
Oh, BAFTA, BAFTA, BAFTA. Don't you miss when nobody knew what you were? When we all thought you were a trade deal or something, you know? I actually once met someone who told me they had a BAFTA, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Is it terminal? I wasn't. Black people are being disenfranchised. Aren't you worried about Asian people too?
No. Why the f would I want more Asians in Congress? Congress is basically a nursing home for pedophiles. Like, what are Asians gonna do? Hang out and get horrible hand jobs from Lauren Boebert? I can do that myself. You really think Asians want to sling back Jell-O and applesauce with James Clyburn? No, thank you.
For the last year, Donald Trump has been fiending for a Nobel Peace Prize, like a humanitarian award addict. He's tried everything from whining to pretending that he ended 8 wars to offering to suck Norway's fjord in the parking lot. But the Nobel Committee gave the prize to Venezuelan opposition leader Marina Corina Machado. And Trump was so butthurt, he said that she should give her prize to him. And because that's the stupidest possible thing that could happen, guess what happened?
Venezuela's opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado saying she presented her prize to President Trump.
Wow. Let's kick things off with Homeland Security, which used to be led by Kristi Noem until she was asked to hand in her gun, her badge, and her keys to her plane. Even though Noem is gone, we're still finding out more about her time at DHS, including the $20,000 she spent on a horse rental for a TV ad. Which is crazy. Horses don't even use money. What do they need 20 grand for?
An ex-banker refiling his bombshell lawsuit against a female executive and adding alleged new evidence.
A family friend claims that he witnessed some of this, specifically says he was asleep on the couch one night when the JP Morgan boss came over, came out of the bedroom completely naked, sat on the couch, smoked a cigarette, and said, "You need to come in here and join us."
Yep. He refiled with a witness, and it's even pornier. This guy is starting to feel like the Jussie Smollett of sex. Like, why is the witness testifying and flexing at the same time? I heard them having sex, but also she was begging to have sex with me. But I said no because I'm constantly having sex. So I just went back to sleep on his couch. Because, you know, none of that was a dream I had once. Just another day in the life of a couch surfing sex god.
We will restore free speech, and we need free speech in this country.
Yes, Trump promised a golden era of free speech. Not for you. They'll put you in jail just for posting memes. But Donald Trump, his speech, it's so free, it seems like it's lost in the woods.
She's a documentariist. Only if you buy a Tesla. Azerbaijan, go, no, F. So it's go, no, F. Is that a proper pronunciation?
I would say Abraham, but it's so much nicer when you say Abraham.
I said, well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Pergovirus. Pergovirus. As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
Whoa. Listening to Trump makes me feel like I'm having a medical event. Which is especially bad because he didn't fix health care. I mean, if they're not bleeping the N-word, they must not bleep anything.
The big question this morning, why did these outbursts remain on the broadcast when other parts of the event were cut, like the words of one award winner who said, "Free Palestine"?
Now, whenever I hear something bleeped, I'm gonna assume they might be saying "Free Palestine." I'll be listening to music like, oh, wow, I didn't realize Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion wanted a wet-ass Free Palestine. How could this possibly happen?
The corporation said producers were overseeing the coverage from a truck and simply did not hear the slur.
Oh, that makes sense, because most of the times I've been called the N-word, it's been hurled from a truck. Because if you look at it that way, he might be keeping his promises. Like, look at healthcare. He's been promising to improve healthcare for like a decade now. And things are so bad, the only healthcare most people can afford is watching The Pit and hoping Noah Wiley tells a patient how to treat eczema. But Donald Trump has more healthcare than he knows what to do with.
President Trump says he has no idea which part of him doctors were looking at when he had an MRI in October.
What part of your body was the MRI looking at?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Are you getting so many MRIs they just blend together? Like, do you just get in tubes that people tell you to? I'm starting to think that if you got close enough to Trump, you could probably just give him a colonoscopy. This guy's presidency is going great for himself. Just look at free speech. That was from yesterday, during an event Trump did with the Artemis astronauts and the chief of NASA. And we all know Trump loves space, so he has the utmost respect for these professionals.
Sorry, are you considering relocating NASA's headquarters out of D.C. once the lease is up? States like Texas, Ohio, and Florida.
Well, the best man to tell you that is the man standing right over here. You heard that question? With those beautiful ears of yours? He's got great hearing, you know. He's got super hearing.
Trick of the trade, sir.
Wow. He's just standing there like, good one, sir. Haven't heard that since grade school, and I didn't think I'd hear it again, but I did. In my 40s. From the president. Trump just can't resist being a bully. He's sitting there like, hey, they say in space no one can hear you scream except for this guy, right? He can definitely hear it. Am I right? Am I right? And by the way, these astronauts do not look happy to be there. They're like, this is the most uncomfortable I've ever felt, and 2 weeks ago I was pooping in zero gravity. Let's start with the latest update on the war in Iran, which is that there is no update. It's still happening, you know? I'm starting to get worried about my river cruise this summer up the Strait of Hormuz. Man, I booked a balcony room, too. But don't worry, because Donald Trump is doing everything he can to wrap it up.
We're having talks with him now, and we're not flying anymore with 18-hour flights every time we want to see a piece of paper. We're doing it telephonically, and it's very nice.
Telephonically? Damn, that's an impressive word, yo. Makes anyone with a phone sound like a wizard. I ordered large meat lovers telephonically. Now, to be clear, that is a word, but he didn't know that. He talks the way I play Scrabble, you know? Just like, oh, wow, I was just throwing letters together. How many points is that? And they're not just in the video. Look at the chemistry they have. And this is genuinely unfortunate and unfair to Trump, but the way the camera highlighted the two of them makes it look like a giant heart on a kiss cam. What makes me feel terrible is I don't have a friend that I'm as close with as Trump was to Epstein, you know? They're making drawings for each other, laughing, showing up to weddings, going to shows together. The only way my friends hang out with me that much is if we're both holding Xbox controllers. So the GOP didn't do Trump any favors by releasing these emails. They basically saw his grease fire and said, let us add some water. And his supporters on TV aren't doing that much better.
This is obviously an attempt to smear the president by cherry picking.
This is just all for show.
A distraction. Just ridiculous.
The carnival show.
It's journalistically malpractice.
Why weren't they as concerned about Bill Clinton?
They love to create drama.
This whole Epstein Files thing, a little bit played out.
Played out? You know shit's bad when the sensationalist media is like, you guys don't want to hear about the international island sex scandal. Let's talk about budgetary cuts. Let's get nasty.
No nation or group of nations is in any position to be able to secure Greenland other than the United States. It's the United States alone that can protect this giant mass of land, this giant piece of ice, develop it and improve it and make it so that it's good for Europe and safe for Europe and good for us.
That's right. It's huge, undeveloped, in a strategic location. It's like if your grandma had a Manhattan apartment she bought in 1950. Once she dies in it, you're going to push her down the trash chute and live like a king. It all sounds great, but I do have one problem. We already have a treaty with Denmark that lets us build as many military bases in Greenland as necessary. I don't know why we need to own Greenland to defend it.
You need the ownership to defend it. You can't defend it on a lease. Number one, legally it's not defensible that way, totally. And number two, psychologically, who the hell wants to defend a license agreement or a lease?
I guess I get what he means, because you do care less about things when they're not yours. Like, a parent will do anything to protect their kids, but if I'm babysitting... Yeah, I mean, like, I'll give it a good college try, but at the end of the day, he don't look like me, all right? This is one of the saddest images I've seen in months, and I follow one of those hairless cats on Instagram. You know the medal is only a symbol, right? Like, just because I steal A$AP Rocky's wedding ring doesn't make it so I'm married to Rihanna. Unless it would. I guess it's really what she thinks. Like, it's kind of her decision to make, and I'm waiting. So look, earned or not, his or not, Trump has the Peace Prize. And who knows, having the Peace Prize might make him a man of peace. And by the way, just as a side note, the woman people say Epstein might be referring to is a Norwegian cosmetics heiress whose name, and I am not making this up, is Selena Middlefart. And if you're watching this from Norway and you're like, it's Middelfart, that is basically what I just said. Now, she has denied that she ever dated either of them, which I get. But more importantly, how is Selena Middlefart a real name? It sounds like a bad spy name. Like if you were a spy and you broke into a super secret security office, and right after you grab the disc or whatever, you turn the corner, and then there's someone looking at you, and they say, "Who are you?" And you haven't thought that far. And you almost say Selena Gomez, but you know that's not going to work. So you're like, Selena, and you get nervous when you're, trying to come up with a name and it makes you fart in the middle of your sentence. So you're like, Selena Middlefart.
Okay, then. Looks like I'm going to have to really bring the hurt on you. Honey? Yeah, I want a divorce. That's right. Take the house and the kids. I know we're soulmates. I don't care. It's over. You ready to give up now, Josh?
Costa, why would you divorce your wife? She's the only thing people like about you.
Oh, you mean my ex-wife? I didn't want to even do this to you, but here we are, just me and you in a room that's spinning. I smell toast. Does anyone else smell toast?
You really should go to a hospital.
Well, joke's on you, dumbass. I can't. I was on my wife's health insurance.
It's why you should choose your friends wisely, because remember, if you do something embarrassing in front of a friend, that's a memory. But if they turn on you, it becomes ammo.
Epstein suggesting reporters ask my houseman about Donald almost walking through the door, leaving his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused, he walked straight into the door.
There is no way this dude is Looney Tunes level horny. Like, there's normal level perv, and then there's Kool-Aid Man level perv. Hey, Don, you want to see some girls in the pool? Oh, yeah. And look, also, I'm not saying Trump has a micro penis. But it's weird he got all horned up and his nose hit the glass first. I know the government is technically shut down, but that doesn't mean everything is shut down. Rest assured, friends, our politicians are still working hard to make sure the important stuff is getting done.
The Trump administration has ordered FBI employees to search for papers or digital records related to the disappearance of famed pilot Amelia Earhart.
Hell yeah. Trump heard we wanted to see the secret files about the famous person with a private plane who suffered a mysterious death, and he was like, Amelia Earhart, got it. Do we really need to see the Amelia Earhart files? Like, we know what happened to her. Like, people looked for her. I mean, not hard, but but that's just because you couldn't back then. All you could do is stand at the shore and scream, Amelia! Like, the only member of the Trump administration that I would believe has an eye injury is FBI Director Kash Patel. I can't tell if that man is blind or can see the future. He always looks like he just saw the Epstein Files. Here's what I don't get. The president travels with tons of security everywhere he goes. So what problem are we trying to solve exactly?
The ballroom itself will avoid the dilemma of having to leave the White House grounds. He literally could have left his bedroom walked out the back of the White House and been at the ballroom.
Wait. The president needs to walk out of his bedroom into the ballroom. This feels like it's Lindsay's dream. I can see Lindsay like, I must rise from my silk sheets and directly into the cotillion. Oh, it's a mass cotillion where I can be my truest self. This is not what a president is supposed to be focused on, unless that president is 7 years old. You know, they're writing a list like, I'm gonna have a slide that goes right from my bed to the pool. And I want a soup made out of candy, so whenever I get hungry, I can just eat my shirt. That's the thing, Michael. Americans are the ones who pay the tariffs. It's a tax on us. How is punishing ourselves supposed to get us Greenland?
You know, I don't like your tone, Josh. Maybe you need to experience how America fights. You want to go, dude?
Oh, come on, man. I don't want to go.
Because I don't think you're ready for this.
You had enough? There's more where this came from.
Dude, what are you doing? Stop.
Oh, you had enough, Josh? I knew you would tap out just like Europe.
No. You're hurting yourself. That doesn't convince me this is a good strategy.
Oh, you're playing hardball, huh? Well, maybe it'll change your mind when I do this.
No, that did not change my mind. Are you okay, man?
No, I can do this all day. Because I have a concussion now and I probably shouldn't sleep.
Costa, you gotta call a doctor.
You need an ambulance that bad, huh, Costa?
You're Costa. I'm Josh.
Okay, so you're gonna give us Greenland then?
That's not even up to me.
Did you personally approve the prison transfer for Ghislaine Maxwell that your Justice Department...
I didn't know about it at all, no. I read about it just like you did. Pardon for who?
For Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
It's something I haven't thought about.
Do you support the Justice Department seeking an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
That was all summer long. People say 2025 didn't have a summer song of the year, but no. The song of the summer was the reporters asking Donald Trump about Ghislaine Maxwell. If it was eligible, it would have been #1 on Billboard. But okay. Take a breath. First thing, wasn't great. You can fix it. All right? They ask you if you're going to pardon her. You barely remember her, right? You don't know her, and you're trying to get into heaven, buddy. Remember? That's the play. That's the journey you're on. You're trying to get into heaven, and you don't even really know this lady, so you're obviously not even going to consider pardoning her.
Well, I'll take a look at it.
But you're considering
I will
that.
speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So
Why would she be a candidate?
I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be? But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it.
This is so sad. Remember that friend at the bar who went to approach the beautiful woman? This is like if he just walked back up and you're like, okay, well, what did she say? And he's like, oh, her? Nah, she a ghost. Well, did you at least get her digits? I got concepts of digits. I know there's a 7 in there somewhere. You know what? This is all my bad for thinking Trump's word is worth his weight in gold, because it's definitely not gold. It's more like whatever material they made that Titan submersible out of. What was that, graham crackers or something? But don't let all the things that Constantino hates fool you. One thing I know about him is that he likes being funny and having fun. I know this because he told us.
I like being funny. I like making people laugh. I like having fun. If you're not having fun in life, what else matters?
Why does he look... Why does he look like he's about to read off what my grandma left me at her will? Like, I like being funny, but today's not about me. It's about Eunice Marie Johnson, a wonderful lady. Like, the words he's saying are, I like to have fun, but the tone is saying, I hit a cat with my car and felt nothing. But look, whether you love what Trump's done the past year or hate it, he has been busy. Let's hear about some of these incredible accomplishments.
With bullet points like number 243, stripped notorious crackhead and grifter Hunter Biden of his taxpayer-funded Secret Service detail.
Notorious crackhead? That may seem harsh, but name another famous crackhead from the last 5 years. I'll wait. To be fair, the bar on crackhead notoriety is pretty low. Most people don't know the names of too many crackheads. Hell, most crackheads I know don't even know their own names. Damn, that man just went through the 5 stages of affordability. And I get why he feels threatened, because normally he can just lie. But you're the president, and people know if they ate or not. It doesn't matter how many hats they buy or how many photos of him and Epstein they pretend they didn't see. You can hear your stomach growling when you're hungry. They're not going to be like, that must be an illegal immigrant in my stomach stirring up trouble. Get out of there, immigrant. Get out of there. And one of the most brain-breaking things about this ruling is it's literally taking power from black people in the South, and it was voted for by a black guy from the South. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is black. He might not know it, but he is black. How could you, of all people, vote for this, Clarence? You were like an uncle to all of us. Uncle Clarence Thomas. Uncle Thomas for short. Uncle Tom for shorter. But look, we don't have to pretend here. At the end of the day, we all know that this decision was not about moving on from race. This is the Supreme Court majority handing a win to Republicans. I know that, you know that, and the Republicans definitely know that because their leader said it out loud.
Mr. President, I want to go back to the Supreme Court ruling on the Voting Rights Act. I know you said you haven't seen it.
When did it come out, just now?
No, it came out this morning, but basically very much narrows the Voting Rights Act.
Was it considered a win for who?
A win for Republicans.
I love it.
You could always count on Trump to get right to the point. Like, it's a win for Republicans. Did you guys hear that? I know this guy did. But never email. Trump has to be pretty unhappy. That new evidence is coming out because he's worked so hard to prevent that. Remember, Ghislaine Maxwell got moved into a country club prison after she gave an interview saying this.
I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
Well, no, that's something. And she said it British, so you gotta believe her. I don't know what she's got on him, but it must be bad because she didn't even exonerate him. She didn't say Trump is innocent. All she said was, I didn't see him do anything. I also didn't see him do anything. What do I get? It's like he just realized he only has immunity here on Earth. And this isn't a one-off. Trump's been talking about this heaven thing a lot lately.
If you're not a believer and you believe you go nowhere, what's the reason to be good, really? There has to be some kind of a report card up there someplace, you know, like, let's go to heaven, let's get into heaven. I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole.
Oh man, this is such a bleak and completely accurate view of his chances in heaven. I will say, though, you never want to see the guy who's supposed to keep you healthy and safe talk about dying. Like, he's supposed to be leading you. You never want to hear a pilot over the system be like, oh, I just can't wait to get into heaven. Like, can we get to Pittsburgh first? And look, I don't know, man. Heaven is tough to get into. Like, I don't want to throw cold water on your hopes and dreams, but you might want to think about trying to get into, like, a safety heaven. Like, whatever SUNY Albany of heaven is up there. You know what I mean? Like, apply there, you know? Because the truth is, there's probably a good reason for Trump to worry about getting into heaven, you know? Is it? Yep. That too. I mean, that wasn't even the first thing I thought of. Crazy how many things there are. So it makes sense that Trump is worried, especially since he's not going to have people like Attorney General Pam Bondi at the pearly gates. Now, it may be surprising that some of the most diehard congressmen are going against Trump on this, but you have to remember that they ultimately just want to be reelected. And right now, their voters are absolutely losing it over this Epstein thing.
How much are your constituents clamoring for more information about Epstein right now?
It's the number one phone call that we get, by far. It's probably 500 to 1.
500 to 1?
Yeah, it's number one phone calls that we get.
I'm sorry, 500 to 1? I want to know about the Epstein Files, but that is wild. That means people are calling in 500 times about Jeffrey Epstein for every one caller who's just like, hey, my tap water poison. And I could understand it if everything else in your state is going fine, but this congressman's from Missouri, okay? They have real problems, but they're using all their Boost Mobile minutes on this thing. I'll talk to my kids next month. This Epstein thing is too important. And worst of all for Trump, it's not just his allies in Congress or conservative Americans. He's pissed off his most important base of support. Crazy-ass lunatics. Come on, guys, that's not going to work. If you want to downplay this story, you need a master, all right? Megyn Kelly, you're a master of spin. Show us what you got.
As for Epstein, he wasn't into, like, 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, it's just, whatever, it's sick.
How the hell was Megyn Kelly ever an attorney? Your Honor, my client only engaged in diet pedophilia. Ma'am, everyone knows there's a big difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old, but everyone also knows there is never a good reason to be talking about that difference. And then that guy is just like, oh, okay, do you know where the bathroom is? But these emails don't just show their friendship, they show their frenemyship. And after their bromance ended, Epstein really showed that hell hath no fury like a pedophile scorned.
He says Trump is borderline insane. He says Donald Trump is effing crazy. Maybe Donald Trump has early dementia. Rumler says Trump is so gross. And Epstein responds, worse in real life and up close.
Damn. A pedophile called you all that? That's wild. It would be like if the devil came out and said, y'all, Diddy gross, okay? We were alone for 5 minutes. You know, he tried to kiss me. And when I pushed him away, he hit me with a water balloon full of baby oil. I don't even know what that's for. This is one of the many reasons being friends with a pedophile is a lose-lose situation. Because as a character witness, if they're like, this guy's disgusting and I'm a pedophile, that's bad. But on the flip side, if they're like, yeah, I know him, he's a pretty good hang, that's also horrible. Donald Trump is promising to lower drug prices for America. That's the news for the day. And I'm sure no one is going to talk about anything else.
Brand new bombshell reporting from the Wall Street Journal.
The Wall Street Journal reporting that U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Trump back in May that his name appears multiple times in the Epstein Files.
You're best friends. You're best friends with a pedophile for 10 years, one time, and the world never forgets it. But yeah, this whole time, Trump already knew he was in the Epstein Files, which is a good reminder that if someone's acting guilty, they're probably guilty. No one's ever going to be like, don't look at my browser history. You'll see all the charities I volunteer for. The good news for Trump is this is America. We don't read.
President Trump has issued a full and unconditional pardon for the former president of Honduras. Juan Orlando Hernandez was serving a 45-year sentence after he was convicted on major drug trafficking charges in the U.S. last year.
Like I just said, drug dealers, watch your back because Trump is about to give you a nice massage. I don't even know what's crazier, that President Trump is pardoning the president of Honduras for selling drugs or that the president of Honduras was selling drugs. People work their whole lives just to become president. So for you to get there and say to yourself, now I get to do my dream, is crazy. At least Walter White had a teacher's salary. You're the president. And not only are you selling drugs, you're so bad at it, you get arrested in a whole different country. But maybe I'm missing something about this pardon. So let's just stay calm and see what the email said before we jump to conclusions.
These are emails from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. This is one from April 2nd, 2011. And in this email, Jeffrey Epstein writes to Ghislaine Maxwell and says, quote, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump.
Okay, that doesn't sound good at all. But, you know, that dog hasn't barked could mean a lot of things. Maybe Trump's feet hurt, all right?
God, I miss it.
Look, this is all irrational. It's not just the tariffs. We're destroying our own alliances. We're hurting our own reputation. America is just shooting ourselves in the foot.
You read my mind. Say goodbye to my foot, bitch.
No. Okay, I give up. We can do the tariffs and break up NATO. Just please stop hurting yourself.
See, I knew you'd see it my way. And that is how America is going to get Greenland, through strength and smarts.
Michael Costa, everyone. Let's kick things off with an update in our war with Iran. It started about a month ago, and today President Trump spoke to the nation with some good news about the war.
They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. It was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize.
Wait, you got a gift from the people you are currently at war with. When I was at school and they made us read the Odyssey, I couldn't believe the Trojans fell for that Trojan horse. And now I'm watching it happen in real time. The Secret Service is going to be like, Mr. President, please don't bring that to the Situation Room. But it's expensive. And it's ticking. I bet it's a watch. Look, I have seen so much anger and hate online fighting over this, with people rushing to attack anyone they saw as ableist in some ways that were pretty racist. People are pretending to be neurologists while saying things like, don't you say the R word, you N word? Everyone was so mad at each other when all of us should be mad at the BAFTAs. They have failed both groups and the people that overlap at every turn. They sat John next to a microphone. They didn't edit it out, even with a 2-hour delay. And they left it up, unedited, on the BBC streaming service for 15 hours. How are you going to hand out editing awards and you can't edit? Even worse, you embarrassed Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. No one gets away with that. So please, Black Twitter and neurodivergent TikTok, stop firing off at each other and turn that heat on to BAFTA and the BBC, because your heat together is equal to the sun. Roast them, light them up, fry their asses. They're from England, they burn easy. Please, for America's sake, you can't go down this path. This is going to end up with you behind the White House with China doing unspeakable things for money. Please reassure us when you are promising money to people, you have an idea where it's coming from.
You put out a Truth Social post earlier today.
I did.
Where you blasted the air traffic controllers who had not shown up for work and offered potentially a bonus of $10,000 for those who have worked despite the shutdown.
I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus.
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace.
Donald Trump is promising to lower drug prices for America. That's the news for the day. And I'm sure no one is going to talk about anything else.
Brand new bombshell reporting from the Wall Street Journal.
The Wall Street Journal reporting that U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Trump back in May that his name appears multiple times in the Epstein Files.
No. You're best friends. You're best friends with a pedophile for 10 years, one time, and the world never forgets it. But yeah, this whole time, Trump already knew he was in the Epstein Files, which is a good reminder that if someone's acting guilty, they're probably guilty. No one's ever going to be like, don't look at my browser history. You'll see all the charities I volunteer for. But the good news for Trump is this is America. We don't read. So it doesn't look like Norway can calm Trump down. France, you want to give it a shot?
Trump now revealing private text messages he received from French President Emmanuel Macron, saying, "We are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland."
These are the same texts Kanye got. Just like, hey man, great album. One question though. So Trump is posting the French president's text. He is reading Marco Rubio's notes out loud. The only secret he can hold on to is how he keeps those ankles so juicy. But seeing how long the lines have gotten, Trump decided he had to do something. Now, the good news is that Trump sent in people to help TSA. The bad news is those people are ICE. And yesterday, they were sent to airports to start helping. So let's see what they've been doing.
They appear to just sort of be hanging out, milling around, visiting with each other, unclear about what their mission is at the airport.
Walking around the airport. Some are standing around in groups talking amongst themselves. Some are walking in and out of security.
They are not helping get people through the line themselves. They've been standing next to TSA agents as people get checked in, but they're not doing the work of actually physically checking people in.
You're telling me ICE agents are showing up to the airport and doing absolutely nothing? Well, then it's my honor to present the award for Most Improved Agency. You're not doing anything, and honestly, thank God. Keep doing what you're not doing. Now, maybe this is the best possible scenario for ICE. Sending them to the airport can be like an after-school program for them, you know? I know they're just standing around, but it's keeping them off the streets. These guys believe in everything but you. Take a look.
He also suggested that the president had defiled a corpse. Billionaire Elon Musk wasn't spared either, with Chansley describing the world's richest man as a baby eater.
This is so bad. That's the thing about QAnon. Like, if Kendrick Lamar wanted to ruin your life, at least he'd do a bunch of research on you and your family. QAnon just comes out and says you're eating spines. And there's no way for you to prove you don't eat spines. In fact, every time you've got some between your teeth, they're like, see, he flossing babies.
I have a wife that doesn't work, 2 kids at home. If I don't get a paycheck here in a couple of weeks, you know, I still have to provide for them. So it's not something that I want to have to be thinking about.
Mortgage, car payments, utility bills, food, all issues.
I'm a working guy just like you are.
Not helping, all right? Damn, Duffy, he knows what bills he has to pay. You don't need to make a whole Destiny's Child song about it. He's up there like, you got your mortgage, your car payment, your roof needs to be replaced. Man, I'd be stressed if I was you. Plus, your wife is home alone all day. You don't know who she's banging. Also, why was Jeffrey Epstein writing about his crimes in emails? That's so dumb. He's firing off his BlackBerry to Ghislaine like, hey, girl, following up about the sex crimes. Hope Trump doesn't snitch about the sex crimes. Hit me up if you want sex crimes this weekend. Say what you want about Donald Trump, but he knows better than to put incriminating shit in emails. He does it in person, or on the phone, or reportedly inside a sketch of a naked lady. Let's start with maybe the biggest promise Trump made during the campaign.
I'm telling you, you're going to become very rich. You're going to become rich as hell. You're not going to know what to do with the money.
Yes, we will. It'll be 10,000 years before I run out of ideas for what to do with the money. You give me unlimited money and I run out of ideas for how to spend it, I'll just start eating it. Americans will always figure out what to do with extra money. Have you ever seen how many cyber trucks we've sold? That shit can't even drive over loose gravel, and I still see one every day. Now, the question is, 1 year later, did Trump make us all rich? Considering your Nana asked the whole family to subscribe to her OnlyFans so she could pay the light bill, I would say no. If I'm being honest, I don't know anybody who's feeling richer. And it's not just Nancy Mace. This is an issue across the entire Karen American community. Marjorie Taylor Greene wants the files. Lauren Boebert wants a special counsel. She's like, I came to Washington to expose pedophiles and jack people off. And I'm fresh out of people to jack off. But at least Dr. Oz is an actual doctor. You can't say the same for RFK Jr. He's our health secretary and also the man that looks like last year's Halloween pumpkin you forgot to throw out. If you questioned his judgment after those stories came out about him taking home dead whales and dead bears, I have great news. There's a new animal you can add to the list.
The New York Post reports that in a 2001 diary entry, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wrote about cutting off the penis of a road-killed raccoon while his kids waited patiently in the car so that he could examine it later.
What is wrong with this man? He cut off a raccoon's penis and saved it for later like some kind of raccoon dick push pop. And I know he put it right in his jeans pocket, too. Didn't even wrap it in a tissue or anything. Every time I hear about one of these RFK stories, they always mention that his kids were waiting patiently. Which means RFK just doesn't know the difference between patience and horror. I'm sure all the hostages in a bank robbery are waiting patiently to go home. It must have been so traumatic for his kids. Any car trip with him could turn into a roadkill excursion at any moment. When he asks his kids if they want to go run errands with him, they must be like, can't you just beat us? I mean, use an extension cord like a regular dad. Regardless, you will never, and I mean never, beat RFK Jr. in a game of Never Have I Ever. You'd be sitting with them like, never have I ever eaten a raccoon's. I did it. I didn't even say what part yet. Doesn't matter. So to go a little deeper, the man who shouted out the slur was John Davidson, who was at the BAFTAs because there was an award-winning movie based on his life with Tourette's. So yes, his outburst was involuntary and he addressed it in a statement afterwards. But right after that, I saw a lot of white people who don't have Tourette's giving him a pass, which is weird because white people don't hand out those passes. White people don't give out passes to say the N-word the same way I don't give out the passes to Cracker Barrel. I know that's not my place. The BAFTAs also tried to apologize during the ceremony, and here's how it went.
You may have heard some strong and offensive language tonight. The tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
if you were offended? I mean, the only two options are being offended or liking it. Saying if ruins a whole apology the same way kind of ruins a whole wedding vow. I vow to kind of be faithful. Also, maybe the apology shouldn't come from the host of The Traitors. I honestly don't trust anything that man says anymore. But enough from Floop from Spy Kids. Let's go even deeper.